This FedGov Today program is sponsored by Palo Alto Networks and Kroese. One of the co-founders of Airbnb says the federal government can generate a, quote, Apple Store-like experience. Joe Gebbia now works on the DOGE team that's taking on the federal employee retirement system modernization. Daniel Kroese is Vice President of Public Policy and Government Affairs at Palo Alto Networks. Daniel, welcome. It's great to see you again. The DOGE team is driving efficiency. The citizens are saying we want to make sure the data and information that we have, that the government has about us, is secure. What's the intersection of that as teams work across the federal government on both of those issues?
Thanks, Francis. There's a huge opportunity ahead of us to drive transformative cyber outcomes, drive much needed cost rationalization, and to streamline legacy inefficient processes. When I look at the status quo, far too often our network defenders, our cyber professionals, they are playing this inefficient game of manual alert whack-a-mole. While the most critical alerts are missed, they're drowning in data and vulnerabilities remain exposed. There has to be a better way, and I think there is an opportunity now to capitalize on the spirit of disruption and chart out a better path forward.
What is the opportunity that exists to use tools that exist now or that are in the development phases to drive that efficiency, Daniel?
It's a great question, and you won't be surprised to know that AI is central to that solution. At Palo Alto Networks, we spent a great deal of time investigating the cybersecurity landscape, what's working, what's not working, and we have really identified one bottleneck that is central to unlocking those better outcomes. A bottleneck that if we can fix that, we can finally turn cyber investment into the cyber outcomes that people are desperate for. And that bottleneck is what we call the SOC, the Security Operations Center. The cyber landscape is filled with different tools and sensors and logging that all drives data. But as I was talking about, that data now is being ingested still by the same legacy mindset. It's still very manual how we ingest and make sense of that data. Because the goal is to triage that data in real time, find the needle in the haystack, and then better fortify your networks. If you're not doing that, you're just giving China the upper hand. And we have really promising evidence where we are seeing that in action, driving the efficiency, driving the cost rationalization, but most importantly, driving those outcomes that the American people are desperate for.
So it's not the SOC itself, it's the way that information and protection moves through the SOC, the way that it kind of does business. Is that
exactly
a fair read on my part?
It's people, processes, and technology working in concert. And I'll give you an example. We have looked at the cyber landscape and enterprises that are not using AI-powered SOCs. On average, they take 2 to 3 days to respond and remediate to a cyber incident or potential cyber incident. When they now deploy AI-powered SOC tools, that time is compressed to 14 minutes to 2 hours. So think about that. 2 to 3 days in a legacy posture, 14 minutes to 2 hours in this evolved approach. And so when I mentioned driving transformative cybersecurity outcomes, I use that word very deliberately because that's what we are seeing right now. That is the opportunity ahead of us. That's not just aspirational, it's happening today, and it can happen for any agency, any enterprise tomorrow. And that's ultimately why I'm such a cyber optimist. If we seize this moment, we can drive those transformative outcomes.
We have less than a couple of minutes left, but I was having a conversation this week with a federal CIO, civilian side, who said, if we match up AI tools that exist now for cybersecurity with quantum computing, all bets are off. The progress could be really amazing. Is that what you're seeing on your side as well?
It's a great question. And in cybersecurity, we always want to skate where the puck is going, if you will, because otherwise you're always playing catch up to the adversary. And for several decades, we've had the existing public key encryption methods, which have been one of the foundational layers of cybersecurity. It's how data is encrypted. Quantum computers will be able to break that existing encryption. Now, we don't know the exact day that will happen. Is that 3 years? Is that 5 years? Is that 7 years, 12? But we know that day is coming. And we know also today, even though that day hasn't arrived yet, that adversaries like China are hoovering up data today in what we call harvest now, decrypt later attacks. So knowing that they can steal our crown jewels today, they may not be able to open it today, but in the future they will be able to open it. So the key is quantum readiness today. There is already a government effort underway to inventory, assets that need quantum hardening and then migrate to post-quantum readiness by 2035, I would argue we need to put the pedal to the metal a little bit faster there. We don't know when that day is coming, but we certainly don't want to get caught flat-footed.
Daniel, thanks very much for joining me. I appreciate it.